Hello, my name is Cody Campos, and today I'll be giving my information speech. First, I'll go ahead and introduce my audience. We have Mr. Singleton, Miss Williams, Miss Brady, Miss Willhouse, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Smith. Go ahead and adjust our camera. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about distracted driving and its impacts here in the United States. So a lot of people think distracted driving is just talking on your cell phone or texting somebody on your cell phone, but it can be a lot more inclusive than that. So first we'll go ahead and start with the definition. A distracted driver is any individual who's engaged in any other activities while driving. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but when you get down to it, it can be broken down into three very distinct categories. So first we're going to start with the visual category. Now, this is one that's often overlooked. This can be anything that takes your visual focus away from the road where it should be. Could be a bright sign on the side of the road, a police officer that's got someone pulled over, or a roadkill on the side of the road. Anything just that simple that's taking your eyes off of the road. Second, we have our manual distractions. Our manual distractions are going to be things that involve physically taking you away from driving that vehicle. So it could be a screaming child in the back seat, you dropped your phone, you dropped a pin, there's a spider on you, something like that. Then we're going to have, last but not least, our cognitive, which in my opinion is going to be the most dangerous of the three categories, and that's something that takes you mentally away from operating that motor vehicle. That could be responding to a text message, having an in-depth conversation, anything that mentally is taking you away from operating that motor vehicle. We'll adjust that so we can see the PowerPoint a little bit better. So next I want to talk to you guys about the effects of distracted driving. Ruth Adiola states in her November 2016 article published in the Journal of Trauma Nursing that 8 people are killed in the U.S. from distracted driving every single day. And also, as reported by the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration in its 2010 report on economic and societal impacts of motor vehicle crashes and distracted driving, caused $40 billion in economic damages in the United States alone in 2010. And that's just going to be simple things like vehicles being wrecked, signage being wrecked, the road actually being repaired. But an interesting fact is it also caused an additional $123 billion in societal harm. The U.S. government defines societal harm as things like removing a parent from their child when that parent's killed, removing a child from their parent, things like that, removing people from positions in companies, taking away the ability of the American workforce to work. So that's an interesting statistic that most people don't really think about when they think about distracted driving, so I wanted to share it with you guys today. So next we're going to just talk about ways to combat distracted driving. The first one's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Make sure you use your cell phone for emergency situations only. And really, even if it is an emergency, you should be pulling over to the side of the road if it's a safe roadway. If not, pulling off of an exit, pulling into a gas station, something like that. Because you really can't focus on doing what you need to be doing, which is driving while you're either talking or texting on the cell phone. Next one is if you're driving drowsy, make sure you pull off the road. As you can see on Geico's website, their safety website, they have a survey that says 37% of people have admitted to falling asleep at least once while operating a motor vehicle in their driving history. That statistic scared me a little bit. I do personally know someone who has fallen asleep at the wheel and driven off into somebody's house. So it's pretty serious. If you're sleepy and you don't think you're going to be able to make it there, pull over, have a nap in your car. I promise you everyone will be more appreciative of it. The next one, limit the number of passengers and activity level in your car. Not a lot of people think of this one, but really it does make a big difference. If there's a big conversation going on in your car, there's a lot of noise in your car, things like that, it's just adding to the distraction, taking you away from the wheel. Ways to combat distracted driving continue. A big one, and one that I'm guilty of myself that I kind of have to make sure I stop doing, is eating while driving. It's easy to grab a quick bite when you're headed to work or you're headed home from work, but especially if you're eating a hamburger, you know, all that wrapper and everything, you got to make sure you unwrap everything. Sometimes you end up driving with your knees. It's just, the whole thing should just be avoided. It's pretty dangerous to eat and drive. And then avoid multitasking while operating a vehicle. Really the only thing you should be doing while you're operating a motor vehicle is operating a motor vehicle. Don't be playing with your radio. You know, if you want to get your tunes set them before you drive. Set yourself a playlist. But don't take other people's lives into account when you're making decisions like that. And last but not least, we went backwards there for a second. To conclude, distracted driving is a very huge public health concern. As you can see, it causes an enormous loss of life, an enormous loss of revenue, not just for individuals, but for corporations and the country itself. So really what you can do to help fight distracted driving is stay educated yourself. Make sure you remember the things we talked about today and educate your friends and your family, because that's the only way that people are going to figure out. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much.